However, if you move to Puerto Rico and you have capital gains, interest, and dividends, it's fully tax-free.
Hello, everybody. We're now here today with a special guest. We're going to be talking to Joel Ortega from Imperium Management Group. He's a Act60 specialist, and we're going to be talking today about different aspects of Act60. We can say that everybody talks about Act60, but few knows the details and the most important things that you gotta have in mind before applying and getting those tax benefits moving to Puerto Rico. So, Joel, welcome to our channel. We're gonna be talking today. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, my name is Joel. I'm an accountant. I'm a managing partner of Imperium Management Group. We focus on Act60, relocate people from the mainland to Puerto Rico, apply to the incentive, and run full tax compliance here in Puerto Rico.
That's excellent. Thank you. Joel, tell us, what are some common misconceptions that people have regarding the Act60?
So one of the biggest misconceptions here is that the decree is effective when they are approved. However, they are effective from when you move to Puerto Rico.
So it doesn't mean, so it's a difference when they're approved versus where you live. So you start benefiting from that decree once you move. So it's retroactive, right?
That's correct. Because here in Puerto Rico, some cases the decree will be approved around 1 year. So the person, a lot of people say, hey, I don't have the benefit until 1 year, but that's incorrect. You can have the benefit from the day that you move to Puerto Rico. It's important to mention that under Act60, the decrease is a contract with the government for 15 years. So the government cannot take away the decree if the law change.
Okay, but what about if you don't comply with all the requirements? What happens?
They can eliminate completely your tax decree and you need to pay back taxes.
Oh,
Yep.
so meeting the requirements is is money,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Can you tell me a brief comparison between the U.S. and Puerto Rico tax rates?
On the US, the normal rate on the individual side is up to 28%. However, if you move to Puerto Rico and you have capital gains, interest, and dividends, it's fully tax-free. So it's a huge tax saving by moving to Puerto Rico and apply to this decrease.
So access to reduce your capital gains, your dividends, and your corporate tax, right?
Yeah, the corporate tax on that side is for the export services company. That's on chapter 3 that we can talk a little bit more.
Let us know a little bit about that section, that chapter, or that scenario of corporate and how they benefit exporting their services.
Yep.
And I understand that even Puerto Rico residents can benefit from that, right?
Yeah, that's correct. This is important to mention that under export services tax decree, Puerto Rican people can apply and have the benefit. What are the benefits? If you provide services from Puerto Rico to people outside of Puerto Rico, you can benefit for a 4% income tax rate.
And what are the industries that have, is there certain industry specifically or any services?
Any service that you can provide from Puerto Rico to the outside, you can apply for an export services tax decree.
Do you have any examples, without mentioning any names or something, but at least you have any examples of how that translates maybe in savings in the real world? Maybe some of your clients, how much they have saved because of moving to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we have one client that their business is management consulting. In 2023, their income tax on the US is around 1.2 million. Now, here in Puerto Rico, by moving, they tax only 4% is around 100K.
Wow. So that's 1.1
million in tax savings.
Wow. So just moving that's a house.
Just moving to Puerto Rico because you maintain the same clients. However, there another benefit of on under the export services. If your volume of business is less than 3 million, you can apply for a 2% income tax rate and a 5-year fully exempt the municipal license tax. And the other thing is that distributions or dividends from that company are fully tax free for all the owners that are Puerto Rican residents.
What's the first steps that you gotta do when you plan on applying for the access? What do you need?
Before moving, you need to talk with a lawyer, an accountant, and a realtor. But why the accountant is so important before moving to Puerto Rico? Because the accountant can do a strategy and a structure all your income that you can benefit under the decree. A lawyer can only say to you, hey, you apply for a decree. And it's important to mention because a lawyer can apply you for a decree, but if at the end of the year you receive some type of forms that not align with the decree, you will need to tax those incomes.
You have to evaluate the U.S. tax,
Yes,
but because there's a difference.
yes,
Sometimes some things that do apply in the States doesn't apply in Puerto Rico
correct.
and otherwise, right?
That's correct.
Can you give me an example about that?
One example is we have a client that on the US side have a carryover loss from prior years, a huge loss. That loss, we have a limitation here in Puerto Rico. That client don't have any tax liability on the US side, but in Puerto Rico, you have a tax liability because you cannot carry over the loss from the US to Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow. And is there a limit, at the amount limit?
On business income, 100% limitation.
So that's why the strategy of getting to an accountant is more important, technically, in order to get the full benefit of the access. There's a 183-day rule that people think that once you comply with that, you're good to go. So you can come and comply with the days, and you can still move to the States.
No,
Is that true?
No, that's not true. That's completely wrong. The 183-day is one of the requirements. However, you need to comply with the closer connection test.
Closer connection test. What's that? Tell me about it.
The closer connection test that you have your resident here in Puerto Rico, you have your driver license here in Puerto Rico, you have your voter registration here in Puerto Rico. All your life is around Puerto Rico, not on the mainland, on the US.
Okay.
We have a lot of people that have a big house on the mainland and move to Puerto Rico. Our recommendation is that you rent that house on the mainland. Why? Because under an audit, the IRS can question why, if you are a bona fide resident of Puerto Rico, why you maintain a $5 million house in the mainland. That's important.
You said something about that when you move to Puerto Rico, you cannot go to a hotel. It's not about getting an Airbnb, right? So you gotta buy a property in the island.
Yeah, that's correct. That's the requirement is that you buy a house within 2 years. However, you need at least to have a long-term rental. You need at least, because if you stay like 5 days on a hotel and 5 days on apartment, you cannot prove that you moved really to Puerto Rico.
You don't have an address.
That's correct.
Okay, so you need an address, but you have to buy
You have to buy within
2 years.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
To prove that you moved to Puerto Rico really and you had a lifestyle in the States, well, you gotta have that equal property here or lifestyle here. Is that true? Tell me a little bit more about
That's correct, because if we move a client here into Puerto Rico that make $100 million a year and have a 10 million house on the US, and you buy an apartment for 100K here in Puerto Rico, did you really move to Puerto Rico
that. Yeah, it
under an
doesn't.
audit?
Doesn't make sense. You have an address, but doesn't make sense.
Don't make sense
Well,
based on your lifetime.
first of all, where are you gonna find $100,000 in Puerto Rico apartment right now with the market how it is? So, what about people that wants to move to Puerto Rico, but they're not sure on if that's the move?
Our recommendation to all clients is move for 30 days, a month.
30 to 90 days.
30 to 90 days here
Okay.
in Puerto Rico. So you can see how the ecosystem work here before you sell your house and move all your family. Because this is the one problem. If you are a single member, you can move and go back again to the mainland. But if you have 4 kids, your wife, you need to have the school, change their life, their friends. So yeah, it's a huge change.
Yeah, so that's like a hack for adaptation. A lot has moved to the island because once they get here and they stay for those 60, 90 days, they love it.
Yep.
And Dorado is one of the most the preferred places to move on, right? And you said something about the importance of working with a realtor for housing and bank requirements. Tell me a little bit more about that.
We have a lack of properties right now on Dorado Beach, as you mentioned. And there is, if you work with a realtor, the realtor know a lot of off-market property that can be the correct property, same as the mainland has that you have. And the other thing is on the bank sides here we have a lot of requirements. So realtor like you know all the requirements, and you can like a fast track all documents for these people that are moving here to Puerto Rico.
What makes Dorado so special to do business in?
Because on Dorado you pay half that what you pay in other municipalities on your municipal license tax.
Okay, so if you are if your business is registered outside of Dorado, you pay twice what you would pay in Dorado.
That's correct.
Okay, that's nice. That's important to know.
And also we can share, we have a municipal license tax calculator, so you can put your volume of business and the calculator will say you the tax saving.
Okay, that's nice. So we will add that to the description below so they can look for that website also. Joel, what about that form 8898, right?
The 8898 form is the statement of individual who begins or end bona fide resident in U.S. possession. So that form, you need to file the form on the first year of move. What do you put on the form? You are notifying to the IRS that you end to be a resident of them on the mainland and you start a residency here in Puerto Rico. And what is important, because a lot of people are still receiving U.S. forms of income, and if you don't file the 8888, the IRS can say, hey, that income, that US form that you receive, you need to tax at the federal level.
Okay.
But if you file the form, the IRS can say, hey, okay, that this person filed on January 1st, they become a Puerto Rican resident. So they will tax those capital gains on Puerto Rico instead of US.
And get the benefits of the access.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's nice. And you said something about bona fide resident. What does that mean?
Bona fide residence is that you are really living on a place that you are putting on the form.
Okay.
That's again the 183 days here in Puerto Rico, at least 6 months, and that you comply with the closer connection test.
Okay. So that makes you a bona fide resident.
That's correct.
There's a difference, right? If you're an individual, you apply for a certain decree and some benefits, or if it's a corporation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's correct. Chapter 2 is individual investor. That is the benefits are fully tax-free on dividends, capital gains, and interest. However, Chapter 3 is export services. That is any person or business that relocate to Puerto Rico and provide services to the outside of Puerto Rico, you will tax at 4%. And dividend and distribution of the owner are fully tax-free.
Oh, so is it true that you need to file for both?
Nope, that's one of the biggest misconceptions that we have, because for example, if we have a crypto guy that moved from Miami to Puerto Rico, the crypto guy only do crypto, is capital gains. So you need to apply only for an individual investor tax decree. They do not have any business or export services to them to the outside. So, and the other thing is, we have a lot of people that are doing business, exporting services, but don't have any dividends, capital gains, or interest receiving. So you can apply only for the export services, and also you can benefit from dividend distribution tax-free without individual investor tax decree. That's important to mention.
Okay. So it's depending of your type of business, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So and I have an experience with a client that for health issues had to move back to the mainland because of parents and stuff, and it was a permanent move, and he by himself, tell the government that he wasn't
A surrender.
a surrender of the benefit, and he had to pay all the taxes that he saved during those years back to the government. So it is an important move,
Yeah.
and you gotta be sure of what you're doing and the consequences in some cases that could have.
And again, this is the important that you have a meeting with an accountant, because an accountant can see how your returns looks like. And if you only have capital gains and you don't have any business income, the accountant will recommend that you contact a lawyer to apply only for the individual investor tax decree. This is the importance.
Is the Axis going anywhere?
No, right now the program is until 2035, and the government have a proposed change to extend for 20 years more until 2055.
What are those changes?
The 20-year extension, but the biggest change is that on capital gains, interest, and dividends, the tax will go up to 4%.
From 0 to 4%.
That's correct.
Okay. So that's proposed. It's not officially yet.
That's correct.
But the people that have a previous decree will be affected on it?
If you apply before, if the change was approved,
Uh-huh.
and you apply before December 31st, you can grandfather the actual benefits.
Okay. But the ones that already have it won't be affected by
No,
that.
no.
Okay. So that means that if people want to apply for the decree before they should do it before January 1st. So it would be great if they buy a property or get a lease.
That's correct.
I can help you with the lease or to find a property to move into Puerto Rico with the rest of the documentation. We
Yeah,
have Joel that can take your
we
back.
can help you on that side to apply for the tax decree and running the full tax compliant on the first year of move.
Thank you, Joel, for letting us know all these details about Axis and the what people don't talk much about, but I think they're important in order to understand the whole picture and how this impact your life, because this is people, it's not about money only. So yes, moving to Puerto Rico, there's a lot of benefits, and when people do it, they enjoy the island, they enjoy the lifestyle here, and they don't want to go. So that's a big reason, and we are very thankful that for you to join us today and
You're
get
welcome.
we look forward to continue to work together and keep helping people to enjoy the resources at the most.
We are building relationships.
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.